What's up guys, it's Jack, and today I'm just going to tell you guys a story of someone who I've coached in the past, and he has ADHD, so he has a lot more trouble concentrating and memorizing effectively compared to other people, but I was able to help him improve his blind solving times by quite a bit anyhow, so stay tuned. And just to recap again, video 1 talked about my backstory in blind solving that people don't really know about that much. The second video, just a quick exercise you can do to sort of figure out where your weaknesses are in blind solving regardless of your skill level. Video 3, how to use this very underrated tool to help you memorize words and algorithms in the long run. And the last video, video 4, what was video 4 again? Oh yeah, my surprisingly simple roadmap to help you get from complete beginner to experts and beyond using just 3 different methods total. And yeah, be sure to watch those first because there's a lot of relevant information to you most likely in those. But anyway, in this video, I'll be sharing with you a case study of someone who I've coached in the past, Victor, who used to average around 7 to 10 minutes with the vast majority of his solves being DNFs. And after a couple of weeks or so, he managed to bring his times down to around like 2.5. So quite a big improvement. And well, I've also coached people on the other side of the speed spectrum. There was someone who I gave a free coaching lesson to back when I did that. He averaged like 24 with my help. It sort of played a part in him getting to 21 seconds. Now he's like 18 or 17 global or something. He's like faster than me pretty much. But I thought I'd focus on a beginner to intermediate example because I think it'd be a bit more relatable to more of you guys. Anyway, the first step to helping him to improve was obviously to fix his accuracy because that was clearly stopping him from getting any reasonably decent times. So I told him a bit about tracing pieces with his fingers and sort of using that in order to make sure you don't miss memo or go to the wrong piece, because if you memorize something incorrectly and have to redo it, that can take up like a really long amount of time, and you kind of want to avoid that at all costs pretty much. And I see this a lot, particularly at around the beginner sort of levels. One other thing I noticed was that I think he was executing, like solving his flips and twists like in the middle of like the cycles and stuff, which like is a bit of a problem because unless the buffer piece is in the buffer position at the time, that means you flip whatever piece is in the buffer position, which in other words means that you get an instant DNF. So making sure he was doing those at the end of the memo as well as execution just for the sake of simplicity and making sure that he wouldn't get those random DNFs that he wouldn't even know about. And also, of course, just some tips on helping him memorize using like words and imagery in general. Anyway, I'll just going through the email because I was sending him like some feedback and stuff after each lesson before. And initially he said he DNF'd like 21 solves in a row, which is like a lot of DNFs. And then like 2 weeks later, after learning with me, he said he managed to get 4 successes out of 9 attempts in a single day. Sure, that doesn't sound too like groundbreaking, but that's a very big step up from failing 21 consecutive solves to going to up to almost like, getting a 50% accuracy rate, which is actually kind of similar to what I'm at myself, honestly. I then provided more advice to help him bring his time down a bit more, so using flashcards to help him memorize letter pair words and whatnot. Also using audio for edges because that's the fastest form of memo, amongst some other things such as also like grouping like memo together, because our brains are generally better at managing chunks of information. So you can kind of like have like maybe 2 or 3 letter pair words sort of grouped up at times, it can definitely make it easier. And I didn't really notice myself doing this until I recorded myself solve, and then I could sort of see that I sort of did that naturally. And that's what I showed in the second video, so be sure to watch that as well. I also told him to still focus on accuracy because, at least in his case, maybe it might seem a bit paradoxical, but even if you go a bit slower and have a bit more accuracy, like that extra accuracy could give you more chances of succeeding on a good scramble, which can kind of make you faster in some sense. Like, I don't recommend this to everyone. Like, I've seen people who I've coached in the past who had like 90% accuracy, but were like always like really slow because they were checking and reviewing the cube too much. In which case, I recommend the opposite, to actually like sacrifice accuracy and just review less to push yourself a bit more, because accuracy will kind of come back up anyway. But in his case, it definitely made more sense to focus on the accuracy side. And that eventually led him to getting, I think, 3 consecutive successes, which is like a mean of 3, and that was like I think mid 3 minutes. that was like not so long after the 4 out of 9 successes thing. But anyway, here's the man himself chatting about his experiences with learning with me.
So before Jack, I was able to solve cubes blindfolded, but many of my solves were DNFs, and the successes were pretty bad, in all honesty. I was averaging about 7 to 10 minutes each solve, and the thing is that with ADHD, it's much harder to focus on memo than it is for other people. So I searched for like solutions online, but the advice didn't really work because of how specific my issue was. But thanks to Jack's knowledge of 3 blind, however, like he took me through a specific plan of attack to resolve the problem, and then within a matter of weeks, I was consistently averaging around 2 minutes 30 seconds, and some of my singles were pushing the sub 2 milestone. But yeah, I would highly recommend Jack Kai's coaching to anyone who's looking to get a certain average and wants to get there fast.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that like case study example kind of video. Just thought I'd try something a bit different. And if you want to see like more in-depth content on, the stuff I taught to Victor, amongst other things, then you definitely want to check out my blind solving masterclass, which will be releasing in a couple of days from now. And I'll cover everything from total beginner all the way to advanced and beyond. And it's essentially a very in-depth step-by-step guide created through like 7+ years of experience in coaching dozens of people like Victor. But anyway, as I mentioned before, I'm only intaking a limited amount of students because I want to make sure I can give everyone an intimate level of support, kind of like what I did for Victor. So this is actually like pretty rare opportunity, so be sure not to miss out. I'm not saying this for the sake of being salesy, like I'm literally capping the amount of people that can enter this course. Anyhow, in the next video, I'll be sharing with you specific instructions on how to gain access to this online course program. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this 5th video of the 6-part video series, and look forward to seeing you in the very last one. See ya.